Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Devil's Due. I'm your host, Carl Duty. Court is now in session. With me, as always, is the man who, dead or alive, he's recording with me, Mr. Drew Celestino.
I appreciate the intro this week. Did you watch G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra or something since last we met? You sound a little bit like me in years past.
No, it's just the world we're living in right now.
Oh, that. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
But obviously, we're talking about the results of the election.
Obviously.
Now it's we potentially have a leader who is as incompetent as Cobra Commander. But not
cartoon
as cool. Cartoon version.
Thank you.
But we're not here to talk about what you have endlessly heard, no doubt, since election night.
Thanks for getting us off on that foot, then.
We're here to hopefully bring some laughs, bring some insight into Luke Cage.
Michael Hoffert might disagree with the laughs, but
well, you can shut up. And we have game one of our listener question world.
We got good stuff on deck.
Yeah, so we're gonna do our best to cheer you guys up, bring us all out of this funk that we're kind of feeling.
Devil's advocate. See what I did there?
I do, because I'm usually the one that does it.
Some people listening might be satisfied with said results.
You know what? I'm of the mind to make some mookie. No, I'm of the mind that all right, this is what we have now. Let's see what happens.
It was a terrible decision either way.
Yeah,
but here we are with the probably either way it was going to be a bad outcome.
Yeah.
But we ended up with the probable worst outcome.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
We'll see.
What
I will say, you're usually the one that gets all sentimental. What I will say, let me spin this on you.
Go ahead. You do, Drew.
Lots of people out there worried about what could possibly happen in the next 4 years due to the new American administration, and those concerns are founded. So what I would say to all of those people is, I'm sorry, and I hope that everything works out, and we're here for you for whatever it's worth. And if you're on the other side of the fence and you're all amped up for the next 4 years and you're happy about the results, all I'd ask is that you consider the people that are going to be affected by whatever might transpire, and a little compassion goes a long way. So that's my piece. That's all I've got.
I believe George Carlin said it best. When
he said a lot of great things about elections.
When he said, be excellent to each other.
He did say this.
Yeah. So, in our effort to be excellent to you, let's get this show underway.
Hey,
Drew,
hi.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
How's your week?
Well, except for the obvious. It was okay. Pondering back, once again, I always have to go through the same rigmarole of recapping my week because I don't prep for anything.
No.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm a bad person. It was okay. Pretty uneventful up until, that little thing like the election. Yeah. We did have a heck of a Monday Night Football game on our hands, did we not?
Yeah, we did.
I will say this about the Bills. They looked competent on national television.
No, they did. It was an exciting game.
Not the preferred outcome.
Which
some shenanigans involved, but
can I say something about shenanigans?
Yeah. I might have a counterpoint to them, but go on.
Richard Sherman's an extremely intelligent man.
He is.
He knows the NFL rulebook backwards and forward.
He also knows what he can get away with and what he can't get away with.
I don't necessarily fault him for the Carpenter thing. The refs blew the call, blew the whistles. He was going for the ball.
Yeah.
It sucks. There are other ways he could have gone about it, but seeing as what he did was within the letter of the rules,
Then he kind
I'm
of
okay
started
with that.
sniping at the sidelines and another play.
Yeah, that's the player he is. You know,
and then
there's going to be some trash talk, and that thing
on the last play of the game when he blew up
His-
the dude in the end zone. Now, even that though, according to the rule book, is apparently
Tyrod
okay.
was out of the pocket.
I know it's so stupid though.
So that's within the rule books. Don't get me wrong. I love my Bills. Really want them to win. Glad they made a good showing. I think our schedule for the rest of the year is very favorable. But I was not as bent out of shape of it as much of Bills Nation was.
They were still behind when the kick happened in the non-call and all that business, and the whole refs squatting over the ball as the play clock ticked down. That was egregious, but whatever. They were still behind even if they had made the kick. So it was terrible, but it didn't necessarily affect the outcome of the final score.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, no, it's always something with Buffalo teams.
Yeah,
on these big spotlight games.
I'm encouraged that we played. I don't want to say we hung with, but we were on equal ground with the Seattle Seahawks. I think they hung with the Seahawks
quite well
in Seattle.
Yeah,
I think that's a huge thing. So yeah. Monday night game.
That happened. The Sabres got blown out 4-0 the same night. That was terrible. Skipped Raw. Don't feel like I missed anything. So no wrestling stories per se to speak of. Although Jay Gelsomino did cancel a date last night with moi for New Japan night, but that's okay. I'll forgive him because that's what I do because we love him. He'll hear that and get mad, but Jay, Japan night, man, it's our thing.
Do you guys eat sushi while you?
No, we should though. That's a good idea.
Should.
Yeah, we should. I don't know if Jay eats sushi. He should though.
He doesn't drink.
No.
So no sake.
No sake. That's okay. I had sushi for lunch today, by the way. Just on a side note.
All right.
But yeah, that was pretty much Monday. Then yesterday was election day, and was it yesterday? Day before.
Tuesday
I'm
night.
sorry. Tuesday night was I went out to dinner to Saigon, Bangkok yet again. Yeah.
Where is that?
There are two locations. There's one on Niagara Falls Boulevard close to UB South.
Okay.
Well, at least going out in that direction. And then there's another one on Transit and Maple. If you're from Buffalo area, you'll know what these intersections and street names mean. If you're not, I'm sorry, I can't help you. But I got the pho. Oh, it was delicious. So delicious. Pho is delicious. If you haven't had pho, you need pho.
Don't even know what pho is.
Pho is a Vietnamese broth soup with rice noodles, meatballs, bean sprouts, Thai basil, usually some onion, and then they usually serve it with a portion of razor-thin sliced beef, raw. You take the raw beef and you put it in the broth where it cooks instantly in the broth. Pho is delicious. Pho is life. It is excellent.
Nice.
And that was election night yesterday, the day after ye old election. It's kind of a ho-hum day. So I channeled some of that negative energy into finishing a song that I've been working on for quite a while. So I think it's done, and I'm pretty happy about that at least.
Is it a happy little sonnet, as Long Cold Dark is to be known for?
It's a song. It's definitely a series of notes in sequential order with different parts.
Alrighty. Way to go, you.
And it has a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Okay, then.
And then we are today now recording a day earlier than we normally do.
Yes.
I could give you an explanation as to why, but perhaps I should save it for next week. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you can tell the people why and just go into more detail next week.
Sure. We're doing it a day early today.
Yep. We're Thursday night in the Monte Carlo studios of my place.
Because tomorrow I'll be going to Rochester, New York.
Going to the Rock.
The Shelbyville to our Springfield. And I'll be going to the Rochester Philharmonic because they are doing a Legend of Zelda evening.
Ooh.
This should be a good time.
Hope so.
Question of etiquette.
Okay.
What is the dress code for this event?
When I went to Video Games Live at
Yeah.
the Buffalo Philharmonic, as far as I can remember, I did jeans and t-shirt.
Did everyone else do jeans and a t-shirt?
Pretty much.
Okay, I'm being asked to dress up for this by my significant other and our friends.
I would go. Who y'all going with?
The wife and our friends Marlene and Andy, and as well as our friends Emily and Jason.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing. I'm in protest of the dressing up because I know the demographic that's going to this concert.
Yeah. It's not going to be the season ticket holders for the Rochester Philharmonic. Who
It
go
will
for,
be
like,
their children who still
Mozart's
live
Fifth or
downstairs.
whatnot.
That's correct.
There you go.
Yes, I know what's going on here. Cheeto dust will be in the air. And I'm okay with this.
Don't stereotype.
I'm sorry.
You're talking about our people.
I love our people, but our people love Cheetos and Doritos and Mountain Dew.
Have you had Cheetos?
I'm not a Cheeto guy.
Have you had Doritos?
I'm a Dorito guy.
They're delicious.
They are.
Mountain Dew tastes like sludge.
Yes, it's garbage. Yet gamers love it. I don't understand. Anyway, that's happening tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah, so I'll give you the full scoop next week.
Excellent.
That's what's going on, man.
Cool.
That's it. What's up with you?
Baby is popping more teeth, as you saw when you came in.
Nom, 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 nom.
Yep. He had his first one last week on Halloween, and then he very quickly popped a second one. A lot quicker than I anticipated him to, but seeing as I've never been a father before, I have nothing to base it against. So with that, unfortunately, does come a lot of teething. So it's been a lot of looking after him and whatnot. Picked up a new game this week.
Oh?
I got the new Blaze Blue
Fighting game, right?
fighting game. It's an anime fighting game. I haven't had a ton of time with it. Mostly due to baby and whatnot. But the time I have had with it, it's fun. It's that early stage of the fighting game where you're just kind of trying to find your character.
Sure.
So I'm just kind of going a quick through with everyone.
Sure.
I think I might have a character, but I still got a lot of characters to check out.
All right.
So did that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Friday night. Tomorrow night I'll be getting together with some friends to play some poker. So I'm excited about that because I have not been able to play in a long time. But yeah, that was my week.
There you go. Weeks.
There you go. Weeks. Long week for a lot of people. But, folks, if you want to share any thoughts with us, if you want to tell us about your week, if you want to contact us and ask us any questions, you can do so at the following. You can reach us on Twitter at Devils Do Pod. You can go to facebook.com/Devils Do Pod to find us on Facebook. You can email us at thedevilsdopod@gmail.com, or you can go to our amazing website at thedevilsdopodcast.com. That being said, let us begin some cross-examination. Now, before we get to game one of our World Series of
That is a thing.
questions,
That is happening. That's
it's trending on Twitter.
Is it really?
Yeah.
No? Oh, oh, man. Got me excited.
We have questions from Mr. Manuel Marin,
Yay.
our friend in Staten Island. Questions for the panel. With the recent news and photographs of the cast preparing for Stranger Things 2, as well as rumors of casting for an adult woman willing to shave her head, what are you hoping to see? What questions do you want answered? What do you want left to the imagination? And who should join the cast?
Holy cow.
We actually have some news on this coming up a little later.
Running the gamut there.
But yeah, basically, what do we want from Stranger Things Season 2?
What do I want for Stranger Things Season 2? I want more of that sweet, sweet 80s nostalgia.
I believe we'll get that.
Okay. I want more Dustin, because he's awesome.
Dustin is the man.
I want more of that awesome Goonies friend vibe that they have going on. Don't lose that. That's critical to the whole thing in a lot of ways. Obviously, I want more 11 because she's awesome. I don't need a full backstory to the Upside Down, but a little bit of explanation might be in order.
Okay.
And I would maybe even dare say leave some mystery in it. So we can venture back in.
I got
maybe,
that. That makes sense.
Maybe see some more goblins and gorgons and craziness, but I don't necessarily need a full, source book of the origins of all things in the Upside Down. So, yeah. And based on our news, which we'll get to, I'm not going to spoil anything. I have some good vibes to that.
Yeah, I think Netflix has proven themselves with their original content, not just
Absolutely.
the Marvel stuff, but the other original stuff they do. And I'm looking forward to season 2. I'm not quite sure if I want them to continue the story from season 1 or do a completely new story. Like kind of be, okay, this is just a town where weird stuff happens.
Kind of like a okay, no, I know what you're saying. I think you're clinging to that hope of an anthology series a little still.
A little bit.
Yeah, I would forget about that.
Maybe an anthology series that takes place with these characters.
That's a lot of weird stuff to happen to the same people, don't you think?
But
I broke him.
you didn't break me. I'm just saying that, like,
Speechless.
that's storytelling. That's
Okay, all right.
How many times has Spider-Man punched a dude?
But that's Spider-Man.
And this is Stranger Things.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
But actually, one more thing I might want. We're going to be pushing ahead in time in a little bit. So the first one was like, what, 1980, roughly, on the nose?
I think 83.
Okay, so we're...
Because didn't they talk about Jedi?
Oh, gosh.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. I may have seen an AT-AT, so I feel like it's post-Empire. So, yeah, after 82, 83. Sure.
Okay.
We'll go with that.
All right.
So if we're pushing inward into like the mid-80s, maybe a little more music. The soundtrack was good. Let's make it great.
Alrighty. Are you talking about like the orchestral score or the licensed stuff?
The licensed stuff, of course.
Alrighty. Okay.
And of course, the sweet orchestral score. But you know what I'm saying. Just
No, I get
all
you.
of it. Just
I get you.
bathing in 80s
Yeah.
synths.
So, Manny has a question for me and a question for you. The question for me is, given the current political climate, is it finally time to vote the Burton Chi ticket? And the slogan for the campaign, Burton Chi being Jack Burton, Shang-Chi.
I'm with you.
From Big Trouble in Little China.
Mm-hmm.
The campaign slogan, America, the check is in the mail. I think, yes, it is definitely time
Sure.
for Jack Burton.
Kurt Russell can do anything. We know this. I'm sure he could run America.
Exactly. And a question for you, Drew.
Yes.
How do you get the damn 3 seashell thing to work anyway?
It's a lot of theories. I'm just going to go ahead and say, however you think it probably works, you're probably right.
Alrighty then. Little scrapey, scoopy.
However you think it probably works, you're probably right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Game 1 of the Devil's Due World Series of Listener Questions.
Do we got to, like, sing the anthem or something for this? Is this like a proper
No.
game? Okay. Please remove your hats and rise.
Our World Series is between Mr. Alan Waiters and Mr. J. Gelsomino. Here we go, folks. Starting off
Giddy up.
for Mr. Alan Waiters. Now, again, the format.
Yeah.
And I repeat the format because Alan, again, sent in like 8 questions. Again, Alan, we applaud your enthusiasm, but we got to get through the show, buddy. we love you, and we'll talk about stuff with you, but we got to get through the show.
He's got to get through 7 games of this, so he's got to bank those questions.
So I reminded Alan of the format of the series. It is 1 group question that both you and I answer, 1 question for you, 1 question for me.
All right.
So he told me just pick out, the questions.
The best of the best.
Yeah.
The best of the best, too.
Yeah. Electric Boogaloo.
I don't think that was the subtitle, but in any case.
I do remember the best of the best. Though.
I hope so.
I do remember the second one, too. Coach! Coach! He's gonna kill him! He's gonna kill him! No! James Earl Jones.
This is what we bring you, folks.
Yep.
80s
Obscure
nostalgia.
80s action nostalgia. Okay, Carl and Drew.
Ask Jay Gelsomino about, oh no, I forgot the name of the movie. No! He knows the one I'm thinking of, too. Oh.
Who was in it?
No one you would know. Steve Armstrong, Last Human Champion. Oh, God. Jay, I'm sorry. I failed you.
Okay. Carl and Drew.
Arena, I think. I hope so. Jay, save us.
It's not Side Out?
No. Jay knows his way around to Side Out, though.
Just saying Side Out.
Yeah. All right, let's do this. Let's go. Game
Okay.
on.
Carl and Drew.
Yes.
Who do you feel is the most overrated Marvel villain, and who do you feel is the most underrated Marvel villain?
Ooh, is this for both of us or just for me?
This is for both of us.
Both of us. Oh, well, okay. Overrated Marvel villain. Dare I say... Yes, I dare. Anyone in the X-Men franchise not named Magneto is overrated.
That's...
Okay, let me single one out.
I'm-
Apocalypse is overrated.
I'm going to disagree with that. That's my favorite X-Men villain.
Yeah, does nothing for me. Underrated.
Underrated.
Underrated. I feel like the Red Skull is a little underrated.
You're saying underrated or underused? Because I think that you might be thinking he's a little underused.
He's been on ice. Well, no, that's not true. Let me walk that back because Rick Remender did some dumb things with him recently that I have avoided. So he has been used as well. Okay, I guess I walked that one back. I'm sorry. Underrated. Oh, this is going to take you a minute. Why don't you go with your overrated so I can ponder my underrated.
My overrated is going to be Magneto.
Overrated? I almost went there.
Because pick a damn side.
Yeah.
Will you?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what day is the week? Thursday, so does that mean he's a villain today?
Yeah.
And just, like, I like the character, don't get me wrong, but, like, he's always in the top 5 when they do, like, a top X number villain list.
Mm-hmm.
And that drives me crazy because he's always, like, some days he's a good day, some days he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's my most overrated.
Who's your under? Because I'm still struggling.
My most underrated is Mysterio.
Okay.
I love Mysterio. He is my second favorite Spider-Man villain. And I would love to see him in a movie. I think there's a lot of fun things you can do with him. I think his costume is just a great visual. And, as we will get to it eventually, Mysterio has some experience with Daredevil as well.
Of course he does. I'm still struggling with an underrated villain. I'm sorry. Boy, oh boy. I'm really dropping the ball here. Underrated Marvel villain. I'm just going to pull one out of a hat. Let's just say I feel that Bullseye is underrated. There you go.
All right. I agree with you.
Cool villain. He only seems to fight one guy, though. I think he could do more damage all over the place if he really wanted to. So there you go.
Remember when they did that, oh God, what event was it after where it was like Darkest Hour or something like that? He was on Norman Osborn's Avengers, Dark Avengers.
Oh, yeah.
He was Hawkeye.
Sure.
I read that series. He's got some good play in that.
Did you ever read the Bullseye's Greatest Hits miniseries?
No.
It was...
Who wrote it?
I want to say it was Daniel Way, but I could be wrong. It might have been Jason Aaron.
Okay.
But he's in prison and he's relaying his own origin to a prison guard.
Yeah.
And it's up to you to kind of decide if he's telling the truth or not. It's kind of like one of those Joker,
Gotcha.
But the best part for me anyway is he's in prison and he relays to the guard that he can't, they obviously tell the guard he can't bring in a pen in, he can't bring in any sort of solid object or anything like that because Bullseye can get his hands on it and use it to kill you. So the Bullseye relays to him that they have him on a liquid diet because they're afraid that he might have a solid bowel movement and he would use it to kill someone. And he says, and I would too because I'm like that. It's amazing.
That's awesome. I'll have to look at that. Okay, the question for me. Other than the dreaded Dormammu and Baron Mordo, who would you prefer to be the next Doctor Strange villain? I'm assuming he's referring.
Wait, this is your question?
This is my question.
I'm supposed to read it. Okay.
No, we only do that with Jay's questions.
Oh. Sorry, Alan.
Who would you prefer to be the next Doctor Strange villain? I'm assuming he's meeting in the next movie.
Okay.
Shumagorath, Mephisto, or Nightmare? Shumagorath is an immediate no,
Okay.
because he's an octopus with an eyeball.
We haven't seen that yet in the big screen.
It's tough between Mephisto or Nightmare. I think I'm going to have to say Mephisto,
Okay.
because hopefully we are going to see him in the capacity in Infinity War that he was used in Infinity Gauntlet.
Possibly.
So yeah, I would say Mephisto.
Okay.
I'd probably have a lot of fun with him. Played by Al Pacino.
But, yeah, you had to go there.
Yeah.
It makes sense, though. There's precedent. There's definitely precedent.
There is.
All right.
Okay, your question.
Yes.
Adam Warlock was teased in Guardians of the Galaxy. Do you expect Adam Warlock to make his appearance in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and be a major protagonist in the upcoming Infinity War?
Ooh.
After Infinity War, do you expect Adam Warlock to become Magus?
We saw the Cocoon. I'm actually just... It's so hard to say, because Marvel loves to tease, and they love to drop Easter eggs. Considering that Guardians 2 has filmed and it's in the can and it's coming out sooner than later, I would say I feel like we would have gotten an inkling of him having a major role.
I remember James Gunn saying he is going to be in.
Well then, okay. I feel like they'll introduce him in Guardians 2, depending on who plays him, because that kind of does matter a little bit, and what kind of a role he has will determine whether or not he shows up in Infinity War. Whether or not he shows up as Magus later on, difficult to see. I think because Infinity War is going to be all-encompassing, including the Earthbound heroes, the Avengers and whatnot, they might pump the brakes a little on how much cosmic stuff they throw at us. I think Guardians is going to kind of have the reign on that sector of the Marvel universe, and then when they collide, it'll collide, but it'll be a graceful collision, so as not to completely freak out the normies and the viewer.
Can I? Do you mind if I cast Adam Warlock?
Go for it.
William Fichtner.
I'm all Fichtnered out, but I can see it.
Visualize.
Yes, I definitely see it.
I'm speaking in that,
Is it wrong that I'm all Fichtnered out because of...
Yes.
Yeah, no, here's why.
Yes.
I have reasons. The Turtles thing.
What, did you even watch Ninja Turtles?
He's the Shredder. But no, he's not. But he is. But he's not. Dude, you got some stink on you, buddy. Please.
That's not his fault.
Doesn't matter. He was involved.
He was in that movie for 20 minutes.
But he was in the movie. He took the paycheck. He's guilty.
So
this is the Joseph Gordon-Levitt thing as well.
So by him being in a movie that you have not seen and will not see, by him being just in that one movie, you're Fichtnered out.
Yes, that's correct.
You've seen enough of him.
He is tainted now. He is damaged goods.
I disagree.
He is just like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, as whatever the hell he was in that G.I. Joe piece of garbage. He is now forever tainted. There is no forgiveness. There is no forgiveness.
Oh, really? There's no forgiveness?
No.
So should I tweet Dave Bautista and tell him there's no forgiveness?
That's very different.
How?
Different context.
You're saying there's no forgiveness, yet 2 weeks ago you forgave Dave Bautista.
It's a totally different issue, though. Dave didn't sully the good name of a franchise beloved to me. Dave just happened to win a Royal Rumble in a year that, it should have gone to someone else very obvious. Very different thing. And not to mention, that person who should have been in the main event of WrestleMania, despite not winning the Royal Rumble, he ended up there anyway because the fandom man was so... So my point being, my reasons for booing Dave are very different.
I can give you the Joseph Gordon-Levitt thing, because there's been a lot of Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to veto your Fichtnered out.
No.
You're not Fichtnered out.
I am, but... Okay.
So those are Alan's questions.
All right.
Now on to Jay. Jay's group question.
Yes.
You are given control of the Indiana Jones franchise.
Ooh.
But to an extent.
Oh.
The head of the studio tells you only 2 actors from the previous movies are usable for this movie.
Go on.
This is not a reboot, but a continuation. Crystal Skull is eliminated from continuity.
Ooh.
The 2 actors you get are Short Round and the Old Knight from Last Crusade. You need to use Louis Anderson as Indiana Jones. How do you bring this story to life?
Louis Anderson.
Yeah, Louis.
Okay. How do we do this? All right. Indy is retired. As a result of his retirement, he has completely let himself go. He is a shell of himself. And his one big regret is that Marion has not reconciled with him. She's still alive, but she's sick. She's got the cancer, like Forrest Gump would say. Indy is a shell of himself, and he wants to go find the knight to find the cup and restore Marion and live forever with her as the guardian of the Grail. He can't do this anymore because he's Louis Anderson's size now.
Mm.
So, he recruits Short Round to help him retrieve the Grail, somehow transport them and the knight. I'm not sure how this all comes together, but just trust me on this. To bring them to the cave or whatever and go through the trials all over again and get the cup and live forever as Guardians of the Grail. There you go. That's my story.
I don't like it.
As best well, that's too bad. That's what I got.
I got 3 words for you.
Go on.
Buddy cop movie.
Okay. I was trying to be, faithful to the chronology, but you're going different direction, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna it's gonna be Short Round.
Yeah.
And the knight from the temple.
Yeah.
Who's too old for this shit.
Okay. He
And-
can't leave the temple, though. You know that.
Well, we're gonna ignore that.
Oh.
Just
Okay.
ignore it.
Sure.
CG talking Marmok.
What?
Yeah, you heard me.
Well-
CG talking Marmok. Hey, man, nice Marmok. We need more of them. They need to talk.
Oh, okay.
So, Short Round is going to find like some enchanted item
Yeah.
that allows the Marmot to start talking.
You mean a marmot?
Yeah, Marmot.
Okay.
So,
I was like, what the hell is going on right now?
the Marmot is going to be voiced by Andy Dick.
Whoa. Where does Louis Anderson come into all this?
Louis Anderson's as Indiana Jones has decided on a career change.
Okay.
He's the gruff old captain.
Okay.
That's the movie.
Okay.
Indiana Jones and the WTF.
All right. I think I like mine better. But yours is strong. Pretty strong.
And as a nod,
Yeah.
as a wink,
Yeah.
as a little elbow nudge, at some point, Short Round lifts up his shirt and the belt with the dart.
Yes. Okay. Good call.
Slick shoes.
Just checking. We're on the good. All right. You redeemed yourself.
Okay, here's your question. Out of these bands, who would you rather the Long Cold Dark open for?
Ooh.
Blues Traveler with a heavily armed John Popper.
Armed. Why is he armed?
He's a big gun enthusiast.
Oh, okay.
Like, he got pulled over. Last time he got arrested, I believe he was pulled over in an SUV, and he had, 8 assault rifles.
Oh,
in
my
there
God.
And a mound of cocaine. So,
Man, guy
fun with
loses
that.
guy loses all that weight and suddenly he has delusions of grandeur. My God.
Well, Kiss, but Gene Simmons demands you play nothing but ska music. Or Insane Clown Posse while wearing Juggalo makeup.
Oh God. I'm joining the NRA and hanging out with Blues Traveler. They rip anyway. They're pretty good. So
Right.
they're a good band.
Okay,
That's my answer. Because
All
the
right.
alternatives there are just terrible.
here are my questions.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I get to ask. Woo! Wait a minute. I have another question.
Oh, you do. I'm sorry.
Hey. And Jay's not getting my hints, by the way, from previous episodes of things I wanted to ask me.
Oh, wait, no, we can't. It's only one individual question. So.
Oh, okay. Give it back.
All right.
Nope, that's fine.
Yeah, so just ask my first question.
I will ask you your first question. Okay. Carl.
Yes.
If you can fight one team's mascot in the NFL, who would it be? The catch is you need to fight them in their natural habitat, and Paime has plucked out your left eye. But you get a blue tortoise shell. I don't know NFL mascots that well, so
I think just to nullify the whole natural habitat thing, I'm going to fight the New England Patriot.
Okay.
Because it's just like a big, like, Patriot guy, so his natural habitat's going to be, the ground.
Okay.
Especially when I'm done with him. I'm sorry.
But you have, the catch is you're still missing a left eye, but you do have a tortoise shell.
That's fine. I'm confident in my ability with just one eye. I think I'd look pretty badass in an eye patch.
Okay. Get your Snake Plissken on.
Yeah. You know what? I think anybody looks at least 50% more badass in an eye patch.
Really?
Yeah. So, yeah. The tortoiseshell would come in handy, but it's not necessarily going to be required.
Okay.
I'm confident.
You're that confident.
As we will discuss in this week's episode of Luke Cage, while not Kung Fu movies, I've played a lot of Kung Fu video games.
Okay.
So I'll fight. I'm a gamer.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Because video games teach us how to do stuff in real life.
Yeah.
If Top Gun on Nintendo taught me anything,
it said I can't land the damn plane.
I can fly a plane.
You can't land it.
Can't land it.
No. Okay. All right.
So okay, that's
it.
That's game one. Who do you think had the better questions? I think we're going to run into a problem in game one right away.
Go on.
I think Alan had the better questions.
He had, yes.
Because I think Jay was trying too hard.
Oh. Yeah. I would say take it to the listeners, but only they would respond. Only Jay and Alan would respond.
That's true. But no, we have to judge.
We have to judge. Alan's questions were pertinent. Jay's questions were more fun.
But
so
Jay has
you see Sophie's choice here.
Jay has had more fun questions in the past.
He has.
Again, I think he tried a little too hard on this one.
Wow.
And just so you know, I'm saying Alan had the better questions for game one. If you say Jay had the better questions for game one, we have to break the tie with Rochambeau.
Oh God. Rochambeau, man.
You Rochambeau for it?
Gotta.
All right. On shoot. Sudden death Rochambeau.
Oh God, here we go.
1, 2, 3, shoot.
Damn.
Sorry.
Alan's got game one, man.
Alan takes game one.
There you go. Walk off homer. Well, not really. Extra innings. Tiebreaker.
Yeah. All righty. So, wraps up our cross-examination. Now, very briefly, before we get into our episode breakdown this week, we do have some news. Now, I do kind of wish Alan was here for this, because Alan is equally as excited as I am about this piece of news. For most and large, Drew, as usual, as pertains to DC, does not care. Earlier this week, it was announced that Young Justice, the Teen Titans-esque cartoon series that aired on Cartoon Network, I want to say about 3 or 4 years ago, it only got 2 seasons, and it quickly became a huge fan favorite. And recently, there have been rumors that Netflix was looking at the possibility of a season 3, and there was a huge Twitter push, to make season 3 happen. Danica McKellar, who voiced Miss Martian in the series, was a big proponent of this. And I am happy to announce that Young Justice season 3 is happening. We don't know if it's happening on Netflix or not, which I hope it does because I don't have access to like Cartoon Network. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. Like I mentioned to you earlier in the show, this show, although it only ran for 2 seasons, is on the same, as far as quality of storytelling and presentation, is on the same level as the Bruce Timm Paul Dini works in DC Animation.
All right.
So that is definitely exciting. Can't wait to see that.
Cool.
Do you have any thoughts that are
None
even remotely positive?
None at all.
Okay.
I'm happy for the fans of the show that they're getting their season 3. There you go.
Look at you being
I
happy.
hope Warner Brothers doesn't cancel it again because they can't make toys out of it. Because that's why they canceled it. But
well,
anyway.
that's pretty much why any cartoon show is canceled. The toys aren't selling.
Ratings be damned, right? Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so the second piece of news I have is pertaining to what we were discussing earlier. Stranger Things 2 going hard in the paint with that 80s nostalgia.
Yeah?
Casting Sean Astin and Paul Reiser.
I will only accept Paul Reiser if he plays a huge jerk at the energy department.
Does he have to wear the vest?
Sure, wear the vest. Maybe they can't name him Burke, but I kind of hope they do just because.
Maybe they name him Turk.
Wait, no, don't besmirch Turk like that. Hang on, wait a minute. Paul Reiser cast in Stranger Things Season 2?
Yes.
And you said that they were looking to cast an adult female lead who was willing to shave her head?
Well, that's what Manny said in her question.
Okay. Sigourney Weaver's done that before.
They're probably looking a little younger.
What if they're not? What if we're getting the band back together? What if we get some Bill Paxton quotient up in this? Game not over, man. Oh, now I'm excited. This is not going to happen. But let me believe. Let me believe.
You know what?
And Sean Astin? He's going to the Goonies. They're crossing over. Short Round might be there. Oh, this is excellent. If they cast Chunk, it's on. If Chunk meets Dustin,
have
you know what?
Have you seen Chunk lately?
I don't care.
He is not Chunk.
I know,
anymore.
but I still.
I know.
The principle of the thing, man.
I get you.
The worlds are colliding, and it's fantastic.
Is this what it's like when worlds collide?
Ew. Dude, no. Don't do that. Yeah, this is good. This is
Drew.
Fun. Yeah.
Are you ready to go?
We keep it up, and yes, I'm out the door.
Okay, you said you had some news.
So word on the street, because I'm a man of the streets. Is that Fox is in a mad dash scramble to reboot the X-Men franchises as quickly as possible, because Logan is probably going to be the last gasp of the current state of the X-Men. So they want to get the X-Men fixed up and shined up real good, real soon.
That's interesting because they've got that Legion show.
Yeah,
that's going to be on FX, which I have no interest in whatsoever.
None either. No. I'm fascinated by this news because I wonder, you have Deadpool 2 coming, with, granted, some recent shuffles in directors and whatnot, which I'm not going to read too much into because Ryan Reynolds, basically strong-armed his way.
What I heard...
To be fair, the director did leak the footage that got fans behind the movie.
What I heard the main difference was that the director wanted to go big budget and Ryan Reynolds wanted to keep it low budget, R-rated.
Then I agree with Ryan Reynolds on this.
Yeah.
Keep it
Yeah, no,
chill.
I agree too.
Anyway, that you've got Deadpool, it's going to make a boatload of money.
Yeah.
You're making X-Force, probably, right?
Yeah.
So what are we in the rush to redo the X-Men for? Let's slow down.
Yeah.
Pump the brakes there, Fox. In fact, apply pressure to the brake firmly, stopping all activity for whatever duration there is until the rights revert back to Marvel. Yeah. But anyway, I digress. That probably won't happen.
You do Deadpool 2. They've already said they're doing Cable and Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
Then you spin off Cable into X-Force.
Sure.
And then you bring them all back together for Deadpool 3.
There you go. That's all you need.
Look at me being smart.
There's no rush to redo the X-Men, man.
Yeah.
They've rebooted themselves like 3 times in their own continuity already.
Yep.
Like the Avengers post whatever, at a certain point,
put it to bed for
a little bit. Make people clamor.
Yeah.
And then bring it back.
You don't have Hugh Jackman anymore. You don't have Patrick Stewart anymore.
Right.
So just, there's other great mutants out there.
There's a lot of them, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just do your Deadpool. Let Deadpool be Deadpool. Do X-Force paramilitary mutant.
Sure.
Like aggressive paramilitary.
Yeah, they're going to do that.
And then just, 6-7 years down the road, recast.
Yeah,
Wolverine.
they're not going to do that. But
yeah, I know.
None of this is going to come to fruition. They're going to beat it to pulp. Into pulp.
Yeah.
But positive news on all that.
What's up?
Bryan Singer will not be involved.
Okay, I suppose you can see that as positive.
I
news.
definitely see that as a positive.
Just to give it, he did more good than bad when it came to X-Men. X-Men 1 and X-Men 2, sir. 2,
for sure, absolutely. One got it off the ground. I could have done without the disparaging of the costumes, but whatever. 2 is a hallmark, though. 2 is great. But let's get someone else's fresh eyes on
I agree.
On the X-Men.
I agree.
Let's get a new take on it.
I agree. I'm just saying that getting rid of Bryan Singer, it does not, for me at least, does not invoke the joy that, say, getting rid of Zack Snyder.
No, not quite the same level. But I'm ready.
No, I get you.
Let Brian go party with some young boys.
Oh my!
Hey, look, I didn't do it.
Do we have any other news to talk about? Anything else happened this week?
Think that's all I've got. Hey, I heard a little rumor around the campfire that your boy Ghost Rider might be getting a Netflix show, possibly a movie. That's about all I got. That's the only news I have, but I heard that. So
which Ghost Rider?
It would be Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider. Look, learn to love it, son. He's here. He ain't going anywhere. People like him. They like him more than Nick Cage.
Blaze. My ride.
Yeah. But look at it this way. If you got a Netflix show, you might get a little anthology. You might get a little Nick Cage peeking his head in there. Johnny Blaze.
I don't want Nick Cage.
Okay, someone else.
As Johnny Blaze. So
it could happen. I'm just saying
right.
that might be happening.
Okay.
That's all I got. There's your news.
We are, what's the day today? Today's the 10th.
Case files are closing.
So we are a month and change from Rogue One.
We are.
Getting excited about
I'm
that.
very excited. Force Awakens was on last night.
Over there looking at me.
Yeah. Force Awakens was on. I couldn't turn it off.
Well, of course not.
Yeah.
What was it on?
Star Wars or something.
Oh, okay. I gotta watch that again soon.
I own it, but it's like I don't put it in. But if it's on, it's not going off.
Yeah. Alrighty, Drew.
Yeah.
We need to get back into the old cage. So that being said,
very literally this week,
time to rustle some papers.
Okay.
Episode 4.
Lot of
Step
stuff
in the arena.
A lot of stuff happened quickly in this episode.
This episode kind of returned. We had a little bit of a break last episode. A little bit of the last episode of Luke Cage. We mentioned that it wasn't as thick with content as it was, and we appreciate this. We're there right back to that, I'm writing down crap ton of notes.
Well, it slowed down as the episode went on, but man, the first 5 minutes of the episode, I'm just like, slow down. I'm writing here. So
come on. So this episode opens up, obviously, where the last one picked off.
Can I have
off?
Yes, with Cage and Connie in the rubble where Genghis Khani's once stood. Now, a quick aside?
Sure.
Every time you click play on the Netflix icon, when you start the show up, you get the Netflix icon, that little sound.
I hate that sound.
Yeah, and then you get the Marvel Studios logo with the
Yeah.
The comic.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Can I just say this? I love. Well, I guess I have to say it in the past tense now. I loved that logo splash with the comics and the.
Yeah.
When we went to see Doctor Strange, before the movie even started, I kind of sat there and I wondered, it was like, Marvel is they're big boys now. They don't need necessarily to even bank on their comics anymore. I wonder how long it'll be until they change the opening cinematic and phase the comics out. And sure enough, what they do.
Yeah.
You got about a millisecond of the comics, and then they transition into live action footage from
3 times as long.
Yeah.
Not nearly as good.
Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like the new Marvel logo thing. I'm a bobber.
Yeah, I know. I don't either. I agree with you.
Go back to go back to that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
all right.
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage.
Still has it. Still has that.
It does.
Still has that.
Next.
I'm going to keep doing this, by the way. I like it.
Is that going to be like the old book on tape? The audio cue that you had to turn the page
Is that it?
on the book?
I never had a book on tape.
No, not like book on tape, but like those kid read alongs with the tape.
Whatever,
no,
yeah.
not Choose Your Own Adventures. It was like you would have an audio tape and you would get a storybook with it.
Okay.
And the audio tape would be someone reading the storybook.
But I have the book.
And you would read along with it. But they put like sound effects in it and whatnot. So like for the Star Wars one.
Sorry, kids. Your imaginations. You don't need them. We have a tape for you.
Shut up. This was still awesome.
Okay. But that was the sound?
Yeah. For the Star Wars one, it would be R2-D2 beeping. And you need to turn the page.
Okay.
I can't believe you never had those.
I didn't have that.
No, you're considerably younger than me.
You had way cooler toys than I did, sir. I didn't have a USS Flag, thank you,
God.
or a Terrordrome.
Seriously.
Did you have? Let me ask you this. Did you have the Thundercats tank?
I didn't go much in Thundercats.
Oh well, okay.
I had Lion-O.
Okay.
And I think that was pretty much it.
That was it. Okay.
Because they were hard to find.
They were. All right. Yeah, I don't totally hate your childhood then.
But no, like
just a little bit.
So yeah, some toy lines I like dabbled in, but like the big ones were Star Wars, G.I. Joe, Transformers. Yeah, I had Metroplex.
How?
Listen, my family had a very profitable business when I was a kid.
Man,
I was an only child. My grandparents lived in the apartment above us.
You know what you're like?
What am I like, Drew?
You're like Francis in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
No, because I am still.
Did you have a pool for a bathtub?
We had an in-ground pool. In the backyard
there we go.
After we had an upper-ground pool.
Yeah. I
had 2.
Let's talk about Luke Cage, shall we? My inner child is crying right now.
I had 2 swing sets at the same time. One of them was a regular swing set. The other one was the Star Wars AT-AT Tower swing set with the speeder bike seesaw.
Oh. I had a playground I had to walk to.
I had a playground close by.
Sometimes there was urine on the slides. I couldn't go in my yard to play on the swings.
It was my urine on the slide.
In my park?
Yeah.
You jerk.
Suck it up, cupcake.
Oh.
Listen, I was a spoiled brat as a kid. I've worked very hard to no longer be a spoiled brat.
Good job. Good for you.
Don't hate me.
Terrordrome.
You know, it came with the fire bat.
I know it came with the fire bat.
Yeah.
Damn it. We're at an impasse here.
We're at an impasse.
I can't focus. I'm thinking about the Terrordrome.
Gonna tell you something else.
Oh God.
I didn't play with the flag a lot.
You just had it.
Dude, seriously, it was not a great toy. It
took up the whole room.
Like the G.I. Joe line, a lot like most of their vehicles and characters have very good playability factor to it. Terradome especially. I preferred the Terradome to the flag.
Sure.
The flag was, because it was so big, was difficult to have that playability to it. Like, it's an aircraft carrier. What do you do besides take off and land?
Yep. I feel you.
So,
but you know what it was?
what?
It was a big nut flex to your friends who came over, like me, who wanted it, who always dreamt of having it.
Yeah.
And you can sit there in the corner like, you see the USS flag? It's pretty sweet, right?
You know what I did once? Because
Oh God.
I wanted to have a gun on the front, so I took the headquarters. You know how? Because I had that too.
I'm done.
Okay, folks, just to give you a visual, Drew just angrily knocked over his mic stand, and he's basically just kind of sitting there pouting. Okay, you might hear some disparaging sounds as Drew picks up his microphone.
Luke Cage is in the rubble with Genghis Khani.
You know what's really cool? Landing the Nightwing on the flag. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize to me, man. Not your fault. It's not your fault. I'm happy for you. You lived the childhood we all dreamt we had. Good job. Big ups.
I paid for it later, sir.
Did you keep those toys?
No, God.
Oh.
Do you see the house I'm living in now? Do you think I kept that stuff and sold it? No.
What happened to it?
Gave it away to like thrift stores or kids who wanted it or whatnot. Dude, none of us knew. None of us knew.
I still have my stuff from when I was a kid.
Really, you have all of it?
Most
Every
of it.
single last one?
There's two exceptions to my keeping all my toys. Exception number one, my real Ghostbusters collection. I had the Firehouse and all the Ghostbusters in the Ecto one.
Okay.
Loved them to death. I was always mad that the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man figure was not to scale. He was roughly just a little taller than the real Ghostbusters. That always bugged me. But
he was like the bouncer for their Firehouse.
Yeah, at best. It was really disappointing. Anyway, I admittedly sold those at a garage sale. Big regret. But I was like 8.
Yeah.
So I kind of sympathize with your giving away excuse that you just dropped on me. I at least got some money out of it. Anyway, the other big exception to my keeping my toys, because I do still have all my toys somewhere in my attic. The other big exception being my G.I. Joe collection of my youth. My G.I. Joe collection, sir, was deep. Hundreds of figures with weapons going back to the 86, 85, 86 year on. Almost to the end of the line. And a former friend of mine, when I was about, 10, 12 years old, somewhere in there, borrowed them. Because I had him in a big, giant Tupperware tote.
Yeah.
And he borrowed the tote, and this was my friend. I never saw them again.
Ouch.
Needless to say, we were not friends after that.
I would think not.
Never saw them again.
Did you ever have the carrying case, the green plastic carrying case with the red cheap plastic trays on the inside to carry the figures around?
Yes. I didn't like those because I had so many that one case. What am I going to do with that?
What I did was I just threw out the cheap plastic trays and just dumped
them in there. Yeah, a lot of kids did that. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I was also He-Man was big with me too.
Yeah, I wasn't too big into He-Man.
I had Castleberry Skull and Snake Mountain, Slime Pit.
Send your hate mail to thedevilsdupodcast@gmail.com. Can we talk about Luke Cage?
I'm fine talking about Luke Cage. You're the one who's got some rage issues to
Rage
work
issues.
out.
Okay.
Rage in the cage. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Bring us back.
Yeah, so Luke has a lot on his mind at the beginning of the episode.
And his body.
Yes.
Like a building.
Yes. And Misty and Scarf are on the scene.
Yes, they are.
Now, does Luke... All right. Does Luke talk to Connie
Not yet.
before the flashback?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Spoilers. Flashback. Come on.
The whole dude, like 95% of this episode is a flashback.
I know, but I had a... we got to announce those flashbacks.
Like,
You can't just coyly
I
drop
would
it
say
in.
the stuff that takes place in the present, based on the structure of the episode, is more kind of like the flashback than what the actual flashback stuff
Yeah.
is.
This episode is mostly flashback.
So, yeah.
No, they're in the rubble, and the cops are in fire department are sifting it, and my God, that missile really did some damage.
Well, it was a Stinger missile, sir.
How many people died in that explosion? Ironically, none. Amazingly, none.
Well, everyone was out, except for Luke and Connie.
Except for Luke and Connie. So, flashback.
Flash.
Marvel loves them flashbacks, at least on Netflix, anyway.
Yes. So we are at Seagate.
So I have an observation of Seagate Prison.
Go ahead.
Or at least Luke Cage in Seagate Prison. When he first shows up, he looks like a 1960s G.I. Joe figure with the realistic hair and beard.
Yes. Yes. Wow. Yes.
That he literally looks like that.
Yep. Yeah.
He might have a kung fu grip. We don't know.
He got that kung fu grip.
I just wanted to point that out.
No,
now, I'm not sure if that's, it's just an observation, but I also wonder if Marvel needs to maybe step up their budget on the prop beards and wigs department. Not sure if real, probably weren't. But that's okay.
Yeah.
Because I smiled anyway. It was
So
great.
I have a note here, cough.
Yeah.
It made him turn his head and cough.
Yeah.
And then my next note is typical prison intro scene.
Yeah. If I could knock points off this episode, we're playing the stock
Yeah.
prison guard
There was
thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. This episode, there was like all the prison stuff was very. I don't want to say been there, done that, but nothing really new going on.
We didn't do a whole lot.
It was not Frank Castle in prison in season 2.
Not quite. No, they played this pretty safe with the prison tropes, and it's very stock.
Yes. And we meet Rackham.
He's the jerk.
The Clancy Brown
Yeah.
prison guard-esque from, Shawshank Redemption.
He looks like a snake person of some kind. He has a very weird face.
He does look like he would be working for Cobra.
Sort of like that, yeah. Almost like a Crimson Guard, because the Crimson Guards all have to get plastic surgery to look identical. Bet you didn't know that.
No.
Yeah.
I had a Crimson Guard action figure, though.
Me too.
Never had Tomax and Xamot, though.
Don't feel bad. Neither did I.
Well,
ironically, because they were my favorites, but I did not have them.
Alrighty then. So, Rackham throws Luke under the bus as a law officer.
Yes, we get some exposition on Luke.
Yes. And as we know from prison movie stereotypes, law officers not welcome in prison.
No. Now,
So-
if I can point something out about that,
Go ahead.
you would think they might play that up a little more, like it might cause Luke some trouble in the episode.
Yeah.
It really doesn't, though.
It doesn't, I think, because they make a point of Luke saying that there's no one here that he put there.
Yeah, it informs his character, but it doesn't in the context of the episode.
Yeah.
Not a lot of play.
So, and we see that first night, Luke kind of breaks.
In my notes, Luke, don't be a fish.
Don't be the fish,
Don't
Luke.
be a fish.
Fresh fish.
Yeah.
Fish. Remember who you are. You are Carl Lucas.
Watch your back, fish. Squirrel Maester Eric gonna be there next time. Now I want some cocktail. Fruit. Squirrel Master. That's what this episode had needed. They should have brought in Squirrel Master, and he could be the father of Squirrel Girl. See, it all comes together, but they dropped the ball.
I'm going to ignore your mention of Squirrel Girl and just carry on with the episode.
All right. Why you gotta hate, man?
Just not a fan of the character.
Okay. It's almost too perfect. They should have did it because later on she becomes the babysitter for Luke and Jessica's kid. They dropped the ball, man. Squirrel Master should have been there.
Okay. All right. So the therapy circle.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm bent out of shape about this now.
That.
Yeah.
You're that's the only thing you're bent out of shape about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Missed opportunities, Marvel. Squirrel Master.
I had the hovercraft.
I knew kids with the hovercraft. You're not.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know. I played with the hovercraft.
What was their plane called?
The Sky Striker.
Had that.
Yeah, I had the inferior sequel to the Sky Striker, the one with the wings that went forward, not backward. You know the one?
That was really cool looking.
I didn't like that plane because I wanted the Sky Striker. Do you know why? Because it was based on an F-14 Tomcat, which was in Top Gun.
Yep.
But I didn't have that.
A lot of fun to play with.
I'm sure it was. All right, so
we see Reva. This is not necessarily our proper introduction to Reva because we were introduced to her and Jessica Jones, but this is our chronological introduction to Reva.
Yeah.
She is working the therapy group, as you were, and I have a note here. Stop saying he's a damn cop.
Yeah, put it out there in front. Guys, cop, Shank here.
Dotson. We've got Dotson.
Except they do care. Well,
They do.
in prison, they probably would care that he was. Also, we get Luke's real name.
Yeah.
Carl Lucas. Okay.
As I just mentioned a little while.
Sorry.
I chose to ignore.
Look, I'm blinded by rage right now over your toy collection as a child, so you got to cut me some slack here.
All right.
So, also, we find in Seagate Prison, Shades was there. Mm-hmm.
Shades is in the yard. And Rackham is kind of eyeing up Luke for a reason we will learn about later.
He's got his own little Candyland going on.
Yeah.
That's not weird.
Or as I like to think about it, his own little Tango and Cash going on.
Sure. That helps you. And also we've kind of get the gist from Rackham that Luke has a very long sentence. And he is in there for probably bogus reasons, but he crossed somebody the wrong way.
We know that Luke is innocent, but we don't know why he's there. And they never really go into it.
No. But Rackham does insinuate that he must have crossed somebody somewhere the wrong way to end up in this place for the duration that he is sentenced to.
Yeah.
So
it's nighttime.
Yeah, and they attack Luke.
Nighttime is fight time.
Pillow over the face, and then they beat him. But they try to beat him.
Yeah, they try to beat him. They get a couple shots in, but Luke proceeds to do that work.
Yes.
And I just love the shot of them being kicked out of the cell.
Yeah.
One after another. And just Luke just standing over him. Can't remember what he says. I'm like...
Basically, he says... I don't remember the exact wording, but basically that they won't break him. They won't make him forget who he is, essentially. Yeah. Now, meanwhile, in the future, or whatever, the present.
Yes.
Genghis Khani wakes up, and she's pinned under rubble. Her leg is stuck.
A Barney rubble.
And Luke has to kind of come clean a little bit. And he says, we got to get out of here. I got something to tell you.
I'm kind of strong.
Just kinda. And that's, again, we're getting little intercuts.
Yep. We're back in the yard.
Now we meet Squabbles, or as I know him as, in capital letters, Poet. It's Poet, yo. It's Poet. You didn't watch Oz, did you?
No.
You missed out on fine television. Oz was amazing.
All right. I've heard.
When The Sopranos was getting all the press for being like the best show on TV and like revolutionary television on HBO, I was like, why? Oz was out before it and was better. But, hey, what do I know?
Did you not like Sopranos?
Yeah.
All right.
To me, it was the show that came out after Oz but got all the attention.
Yeah.
Oz was better.
I keep hearing Oz and I keep hearing The Wire.
Yeah. I've watched 2 episodes of The Wire, I'm ashamed to say. I'm told that if you stick it out, it is the best show ever made.
Wow.
But it starts off, at least in the first 2 episodes I watched, a little slow, and I fell asleep, and I never picked it back up. One of these years, I will get back to it because apparently it is great. Anyway, here Poet is known as Squabbles, and he stops Luke from taking some retribution on the guys that jumped him.
Which I found kind of funny because, like, he won the fight. Clearly.
He did, but they still put him in the hole. They're testing him.
Yeah, okay. I get you. And then, like, kind of going back to the first scene in the therapy group, you know, Luke didn't want any friends, didn't want to know anyone there, and, you know, Squabbles tries to
befriend him a little.
Befriend him, but I'm sorry, I'm just kind of off tonight.
Well, you're thinking about all those sweet, sweet toys. Yeah, no, Squabbles is trying to keep Luke's head on straight. Squabbles is trying to, you know, be good in prison, essentially. Even though, as we find out in the therapy sessions, that Squabbles' family has never been to see him there. Yeah. But he's trying to keep on, day at a time. And he doesn't want to see Luke, you know, descend into madness that prison can often lead to.
Yeah.
Now, in the meeting, Luke then decides, you know what? Riva asking all these questions. What about you?
Well, I got to find out when they start the meeting scene. I thought it was really. I thought the concept of preventative homicide was amusing.
Yeah,
like, but you killed them. It was what'd you call it? Preventative.
Yeah, prisoners justifying their crap. Luke presses Riva. What are you doing here? You must be doing this job for a reason. You got some guilt you're carrying around with you.
Yeah, trust has to be earned.
Yep. Now we're back into the present briefly because Misty and the cops have the red light camera footage, or whatever you want to call it, of the missile striking Genghis Khanis. And spoilers, Scarf is calling Cottonmouth later on.
But Scarf's crooked.
Yeah, he killed somebody.
Hey, Drew.
Yeah.
I had an ad too. But
Did you have the Falcon? How about the Falcon? You got the Falcon?
Yep.
Yeah, the Falcon. Of course, yeah. Of course.
X-Wing,
Of course.
Speeder bike,
course.
Rancor.
Sure. Why not?
Death Star playset.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm not even mad anymore.
ATST.
Should have hung on to all that. That's all I can tell you.
Oh, well, duh. Yeah.
That gives me some satisfaction. That you didn't. This is the episode of The Devil's Due when the show turned vindictive.
You know, yeah, really. You know what my all-time favorite Star Wars toys were? It wasn't the standard action figures. I mean, they were great. I loved them. But they came out with like these miniature play sets with like little metal figures.
I don't remember this at all.
It was like the micro collection. It was, oh God, I loved them.
All right.
I loved them. I'll show them to you after the show.
Okay.
Not that I still have them. I'll show them to you on
I'll take you into my secret toy closet.
The internet.
I lied. I have all of it. I play with it late at night.
You want to play with the flag, Drew?
Yeah, right.
You can't.
Yeah, right.
You can watch me play with it, though.
It's behind glass. You got to go in there with a fingerprint scanner and stuff. Anyway, so there's rumors in the prison.
Yes.
Of experiments being done and people disappearing.
And Riva denies it.
Denies it outright.
Yeah, we kind of learned in this episode that Riva is not as pure as the driven snow.
No. Well, we don't know that yet, but let me spoilers. No.
Like, I remember when you watched this episode and you texted me, you're like, Riva, heel turn.
Yeah.
So
we'll get to that.
A little bit, yeah.
It wasn't this episode when I declared the heel turn. It was later.
Later on.
Spoilers. Luke is getting friendly with Riva, though. They're starting to bond.
Yes.
They're bonding. Now, the guards still got a mad on for Luke because they think that he would be beneficial to them.
Yeah.
So they set up squabbles in order to press Luke to get into the fight game, their little fight ring.
They frame squabbles for shivving. Do you ever know shivving has the exact same sound effect in every prison movie?
Yeah. It's a stock sound, man.
All right.
You ain't got to re-record audio, and you got it on. Pull up in the file bank. Yeah, that one.
Give me the shiv.
Give me the shiv. Shiv sound effect A. That one.
Yeah. So
now Luke agrees to fight, but
Luke-
he says Squabbles will be with me every step of the way.
yeah, he wants Squabbles as his corner man.
Yeah.
And we learn about Squabbles because now we have a scene in the yard where Squabbles is training Luke,
Mm-hmm.
and Luke is kind of surprised as to like the specificity.
Good word.
I just like mentally puked on the
No, it's good. Specificity.
microphone of his training.
Yes.
So we've learned that at first they're joking around about Squabbles learning how to fight from kung fu movies, but it turns out no, Squabbles is Golden Glove, 6 years running.
That's right. And he was a dealer on the streets.
Yes.
And he kept that corner because he was a Golden Gloves champion.
Now, let's discuss Squabble's preference of Jet Li over Bruce Lee.
Okay?
I cannot support him.
No, nor I.
Yes.
Nor I. No disrespect to Jet Li.
No.
But Bruce, man. OG.
Bruce was Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee, dude. And not only that, I'm surprised at this turn of events because Squabbles in an earlier scene was remarking over some woman in a magazine.
Lisa Bonet.
And he was all about the old chick, and Luke's all like, there's new chicks.
There's new honeys out
There's
there.
new honeys out there.
Nicki Minaj.
So you would think that Squabbles would be the OG Bruce Lee,
Yeah.
and that Luke might be the Jet Li, but no. See that they flipped it. They did.
Flipped it for
They
real.
did like a thing.
I see what they did there.
Now, Luke is on his way to his first fight, and once again, Luke does not like being called the N-word.
No. Once again, I like that about him.
Luke has
Doesn't put up with it.
Luke is a man of high character.
Yes.
He will not be talked down to.
No.
But we also find out that Luke can fight.
Luke said, "Come get these hands."
Yeah.
And
Oh, you want them? You can have them.
He delivered the hands.
Yes, to the face.
So yeah, we get a fight montage.
Now, cut in with the montage, though, is Luke digging / punching his way out of Genghis Khan's in the present.
Yes.
So he's, punching stuff.
To play on images.
Play on time.
Yes.
Now, unfortunately, in all this fighting, Luke is losing himself.
Yeah.
He's giving up hope.
You can, and it was kind of evident what they were doing. They used the unkemptness
Yes.
of his hair and beard
Yeah.
to illustrate his lack of concern over his own personal being. And
Yeah.
you know,
Squabbles even
hygiene.
says, when's the last time you took a shower?
Yeah.
Got a haircut? You're losing yourself in here.
Yep.
We meet Dr. Bernstein ever so briefly.
Yeah, and Reva sees that Luke is kind of reverted back to what he was when we first got here. Sees he's kind of broken.
Yes.
And but Luke kind of tries. Is it here that Luke tells her to go away?
Yes. He basically says there's a fight ring. You got to get out of here.
Yeah.
They know that I'm partial to you. You might be in danger. They know, they know. And
Yeah.
if they find out, you're in danger. So there's a fight ring. Get out of here. Don't come back. I'm going to expose them. Okay. I don't know how much of a plan Luke really had, but he even tells Squabbles, like, I'm going to expose them. Okay.
Yeah. Expose them to who?
How are you
expose
going to do
what?
all this?
Yeah.
You
You know the
what's-
warden's in on it, so
What's your plan exactly? But we take him at his word. But he gets a haircut,
cleans up a little bit.
and then Shades meets him.
Yes.
Says, better get back in the game, son.
Yep.
Heard you want to break up the fight ring. That you told people about it. They had to beat that info out of Squabbles.
Yeah.
And then they beat Luke.
They learned from their first encounter that this time you bring metal objects to
Yes.
the fight. Clank is not a sound you want to hear when someone's fighting you.
No.
That just means you're in a lot of pain.
Yeah. They bust up Luke.
Yep.
And we
And-
find out when he wakes up in the hospital, the
It's in
infirmary,
the infirmary.
with Dr. Bernstein. Berenstain?
Yep.
Berenstain? Conspiracy? Anyway,
Berenstain Bears.
sorry. It's weird, man. Alternate universes and stuff.
Okay. No, I'm just saying.
I'm serious. It's a thing.
Yeah,
We might live on Earth, too. We don't know.
quite possibly. I had the dragonfly, too.
Squabbles is dead, man.
They killed Squabbles.
Off screen, mind you.
Yeah. I didn't like that. I
Me
liked
neither.
Squabbles. He was
Poet, man.
a good character.
No, Reva begs Dr. Berenstain Bear to fix Luke
Yes.
because he's going to die. They beat him badly. So apparently, there is some kind of experimentation going on at the prison,
And Reva did know about it.
and she knew about it.
Yep.
Yeah. So we hook Luke up to the machinery and the stuff and the tanning bed.
And Drew, how do we hook Luke up to the mad scientist tanning bed?
Via gauntlets and a tiara.
Via gauntlets and a metal headband.
That's correct.
I'm not gonna call it a tiara.
It's a tiara, bro. It's all right, though.
I believe tiara goes on the top of the head.
Look,
Just saying.
call it what you will.
I'm not gonna call Luke's thing a tiara.
Okay.
Right.
Now, in the process of this healing thing,
Yeah.
Rackham
Rackham
shows up.
He's not happy.
No.
Like, man, bad guy, prison guard.
Yeah.
You're supposed to die tonight, Luke.
So he turns off the machinery and smashes it up real good.
I don't think he necessarily turns off the machinery.
He starts trying to kill Luke. though,
Yeah.
in the tank.
Yeah, and so clearly the experiment doesn't go as planned.
No.
Heat is apparently a factor in this.
Guess so.
Because it looks like he's boiling in there.
Yeah.
And that water came to a boil pretty quickly.
Somehow, though, Luke survives, and not
Yeah.
just survives, but heals.
Yeah. And he finds out he can hit very hard.
And before he finds that out, though, just to clarify, Dr. Berenstain Bear is alive, but Rackham
Yeah.
not. The explosion
Yeah.
killed him.
Rackham got racked.
Rackham, dude. Now, Luke starts punching the wall.
Yep.
Because he can now.
Sweet Christmas.
Sweet Christmas. Luke's busting out
Yep.
and swimming to safety. It's long. That's far, by the way.
And we get a juxtaposition of him punching through the wall in the prison to him punching through the rubble
Right.
in Genghis Khanis.
Once again, a intercut thing where
Yes.
Luke's escaping two things. See?
Yeah.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
Rhymes. It does rhyme. So he escapes. We see that Seagate is
Now, can I
quite literally Seagate.
Yeah.
He has to swim.
can I point something out?
Sure.
When he emerges from the tank with the headband on, that's all we got in like the preview teasers and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wink and nod. As soon as he emerges from the water, I said to myself, they're gonna have a scene where he comes across someone's laundry hanging on a line outside, aren't they?
Yep.
And sure enough,
Classic.
that's exactly what
Luke
happens.
Cage costume.
Yellow
For those
shirt.
of you who don't know, the classic Luke Cage costume is a yellow disco shirt, blue pants, Cavalier style yellow boots,
Don't forget the chain belt.
chain for a belt, metal bracelets,
Tiara.
metal headband. I will post a picture on her Facebook page.
I think people know what he looks like in the 70s. And it's silly, and yet I was still like,
Oh, you're so geeking out. So geeking out.
he's in it for about 3 seconds, and he says,
he's
you look like a
he's
damn
like,
fool.
Look like a damn fool.
So he takes it off.
Yeah.
And he calls Reva.
Contacts Reva, and we see that Reva has the flash drive.
Which will come into play in
Jessica
many
Jones.
series from now. Yeah. Also, he crushes a can of shaving cream in his hand.
Well, he's still learning about his powers.
Then he shaves
The most uncomfortable shave ever.
dry. Number one, he didn't trim that beard. So
Shaves dry, doesn't trim it with a disposable Bic.
Now, just
You
because
might as
the
well
man's
just pull the hair
Yeah.
out of your face.
just because his skin is unbreakable doesn't mean it doesn't hurt and pull when you. That's a terrible razor.
You gotta treat your face proper. You gotta get a good shaving gel or cream on there. Decent razor.
You've been going. Yeah, this is like
Good-
your new USS
good-
flag.
good
Don't you have like
post.
the horsehair brush and crap? Don't you have all that? No.
It's a unicorn hair, sir.
It's the terror drum of brushes.
A very nice post-shave balm is recommended.
Okay,
Yes.
kind of razor you rocking over there?
I do the Dollar Shave Club.
Oh,
They're decent razors.
thinking about buying a safety razor myself.
They're, I think, because I don't shave. I shave like maybe once a week. Doesn't grow extremely fast, and I have to wait for it to grow because, like, underneath my chin, if I shave it too early,
Difficult
it bleeds
irritations.
like crazy.
Yes.
Yeah. I think after I exhaust my Dollar Shave Club, I've been hearing a lot of good things about Harry's.
Hear about that too. Yeah, a lot of podcast ads are
Yeah.
seeping in. If you want to sponsor this show and put your ad in here,
By
contact
all
us.
means.
Anyway, we get a gratuitous Marvel shirtless shot
Yeah.
of Luke and his pecs and his big old arms and muscles.
You know, when you look like that, God bless you, sir. Strut.
I don't, so I don't.
Luke Cage, Thor, Cap.
They should just, when they all get together in Infinity War, have a big old beach volleyball scene, oil them all up. Let's just go Top Gun. Let's just go full Top Gun with this.
That's crazy. So, two questions.
Reva's backpedaling.
Yeah, exactly. Two questions here about Reva.
Yeah.
How much isn't she telling Luke?
Good question.
And what has she been previously? Because she mentions, like, you weren't always a convict. I wasn't always a psychiatrist.
Yeah. She has some kind of snooping background.
Yeah.
And she was lying to Luke about the experiments in the prison. And she says, I promise I'll tell you everything someday. I'm right here. Tell me now.
I think Luke has kind of got some coffee on his mind.
Yeah. Well, you know, he's a little groggy. Needs a little wake me up.
Yep. And then we kind of get a background on the name change.
A little bit. It's biblical.
Biblical. Luke Freeman? Nah,
Two on the nose. Yeah. And then we get to the present when he escapes unscathed. Misty's like, we really got to talk about you escaping stuff because this is kind of a thing now.
Connie. And then the news media. That oh so great news media.
Oh, you mean the media, the evil media that's horrible and they need to be censored and they need to be shut down by our God Emperor that
the one that kept us so greatly informed throughout the selection process.
Anyway,
they ask Luke, like,
who are you?
Who are you? Give us your name. Takes down the hoodie. My name is Luke Cage.
His name is Luke Cage.
Credits.
Thoughts on the episode, Carl?
It was a necessary episode to get that background that's been mentioned throughout the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Would have liked the prison stuff to be a little less cliche.
I feel you.
But yeah, other than that, it was good.
It was good. It was a good origin.
I think the retro costume, just that moment.
They got to give you that
makes
moment. On that note, can I just point out, or maybe a little lament, if I may? Okay. I did catch some of Captain America: The First Avenger recently.
Okay.
After not seeing it for a while.
Yeah.
And I've maintained from day one, when I saw it in the theaters, that Cap's movie costume is great. I'm not going to mince words. They did a good job of making it, finger quotes, practical.
Believable.
Sure. But may I just say that if they played it for laughs, Pizzoji, his actual costume, his USO costume. Mm-hmm. But I would say that if they had actually not, if they had just done the mask not Goofy for the sake of Goofy, to play it for laughs, but actually tried to make it into something realistic, that costume would be perfectly acceptable. I thought Chris Evans looked fantastic in that outfit. It was legit. The boots they were OG. I'm sorry. I think
I'm going to have to disagree only because it looked like it was made to be a stage costume.
Fair enough. It looked cool. It looked really.
I'm not saying it didn't look
It was cool.
But I'm saying if he was going around fighting Hydra in that, no. Mm-mm.
I could see it.
No.
It's a movie.
I like how in recent years Cap's costume has been modified to be more of what a soldier would wear. Even when it's a simple thing is like kind of getting rid of the Cavalier boots and going with like just red military boots.
I like the Cavalier boots.
I know you do, Drew. You know what I like? Cobra Rattler. Had that too.
Trouble Bubble. Did you have the Trouble Bubble?
I did not.
Oh.
Too small. I just went big.
Yeah, I you know. We know. We can tell. Okay. That ends this week's episode of Luke Cage.
Drew is trembling with rage right now.
No, I'm fine. I'm just
Dear
taking
listeners,
notes, mental notes on things I'm going to be picking at you about for the rest of our lives.
Dear listeners, thank you so much again for joining us. If you would like to send us any questions, comments about the show, you can contact us at the following resources. You can reach us on Twitter at Devils Do Pod. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/DevilsDoPod. You can email us at thedevilsdopod@gmail.com, or you can find all these resources at our website, thedevilsdopodcast.com. Drew?
Yeah.
I hesitate to ask any parting thoughts.
No. None at all. None at all.
Okay.
You know what I'm going to do, though, when I get home?
What are you going to do?
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go in my attic. I'm gonna play with all my childhood toys because I still have mine.
Yeah, because that's not weird.
You know what though? I can do that. You can.
That's fine.
Yeah, sure.
Go play my new game.
Good for you. Good for you.
Oh, good for you.
Good for you.
All right. Join us next week as we go.
Maybe.
Good
night, everybody.
You know, it's funny because of the two of us, I would be the one to be replaced because all the equipment's yours.
Ah. There is that.
Don't
what Jay's doing.
Me. I'm already dead. Okay, come back. Join us next week for more Luke Cage and World Series Game 2 of listener questions. Allen jumps out to a 1-0 lead. Let's see if Jay can recover next week. Court is adjourned.